don't know if I can even admit this, but I've got into Taylor Swift.
The Super Cup, yeah. Conference here.
Oh, the Conference League's there.
Yeah. Euros, Champions, and the Europa League.
And I happened to be on the same train as the Millwall fans. And then what I really wanted to say was, no, mate, I'm West Ham. Right? And I thought, no. I don't think that would be a good idea.
Don't be doing that. You know, I had to sing a cappella to them in the Swedish, the Jämtland national live in front of 3,000 people.
3,000 people?
3,000 people, yeah. It was like a proper show.
Oh, I didn't think it was like, I didn't realize it was like an audience.
It was mental. Like, people paid for this. It's like, are you mad?
People paid?
They paid, yeah.
What?
Yeah. I know. But to be fair, if you listen to me sing in front of 3,000 people, it's worth paying for that.
Big refund queue.
Not because it's any good, because it's awful.
That's amazing. Speaking of songs, I'm sure I, like many others, listened to Gareth Southgate's Desert Island Disc before Christmas, and I'm sure you can guess where this question is going. I was amazed by some of his song choices, but I thought it was quite revealing of a manager. So I'd like to ask you, like, you don't need to give me all 8 plus your luxury item, but what would be, give us a sense of what would be on your Desert Island Disc.
Oof. So this is I think this is a tricky question because it needs some time to think about. My
off the cuff.
Yeah, well, I think you'd want to do it over your lifetime and some songs that sort of meant something to you. So, like, when I think back, one of the first album my dad bought was Queen Greatest Hits, and Bohemian Rhapsody was just like, that was getting bashed all the time. So at some point, that'd be one of them. But then I've gone I'm quite eclectic. To be fair, I don't know whether I can even admit this, but like, I've got into Taylor Swift.
Oh no. Right, thanks for coming on to
See you later. That's all the positivity's gone now.
She's having a moment. That's fine.
But I'm also like, I don't know, Sam Fender. I'm quite into Sam Fender, and I know he's doing a show here. So I might have to miss that because I'm away. But I'm all over the place musically.
I am as well.
You've won the Champions League, the Europa Conference League, West Ham, the Super Cup, the Euros as well. I mean, 5. That's an incredible achievement.
That's
but
big.
You've got, I notice sometimes because I'm on the side of the pitch and I see you warming up, I notice you've got a tattoo, right?
Yeah.
So what have you got? Have you got all of the 5? Let's have a look.
I mean, you would, wouldn't you?
So, I can see the Champions League.
I have the Super Cup, Conference here.
Oh, the Conference League's there.
Yeah. Euros, Champions, and the Europa League. Yeah, all 5.
Oh, see, that's very humble of you. I would have that there. and just walk
no, I think because of this, I think in this final against Fiorentina, I think I feel like more nervous because in my mind I know it's the last one, to complete the all 5. So in the football, you never know when you have this opportunity. So I think for me it was the most important personally, because it was the last one. From this 5, so
Emmy's the only player that can have that tattoo.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're definitely the first. I don't know if anyone else. I mean, I'm trying to think of the last few years of the Conference League. I don't think anyone else has done this.
No. I think if you can write in the Google, you can see there.
I checked it.
If you put my name, they say there the first player to win the 5 trophies.
Does someone from UEFA call you up and say, I don't know, here's a special award or something like that? I feel like they should bring you up and give you something else.
They want to create another cup,
happily.
I noticed though that don't think there's any more room, is there, for any more trophies?
I have on the other leg,
Okay, good. That SBFC, that debut, was like November
3rd, I remember.
So you're 16 at the time.
Yeah, I was
smashed
16 and my birthday's in December, so 16 and 11 months probably.
That's mad.
Yeah.
So did you know you were going to make the debut that night? Like, how much notice did you have?
I knew 2 days before, I think. It was in training. I mean, I get rinsed for this all the time. I done a post-match interview after, and I think it was in the news for like the most, I don't know, like the most unmedia trained interview or something. Because I just rambled on about, how I found out and stuff like that. So, yeah, but it was in training, and we was doing like, patterns of play and stuff like that. And I was in the starting team, and I couldn't believe it. Yeah, it was a mad feeling. I mean, 16 and you're starting for the first team is ridiculous.
So what? You didn't get told properly? It was like, you'd be in the starting team.
Yeah, it was just in training. We were just put in teams, And then I turned around to Mark Noble and I was like, what's going on here? And he was like, you're starting, Geese.
That's what's going on?
Yeah.
Oh, what's
Like,
happening?
yeah, I couldn't believe it. So yeah, that's when I found out. And then I had to go because I was staying in digs. So I had to go home and get my passport and everything. So I was ready to travel the next day.
That is so exciting, isn't it? You're a West Ham fan, but not necessarily by birthright.
Well,
Am I right
this
in
is
saying?
tricky. This is tricky. I was actually born in Peckham and spent the first few years of my life living in Camberwell. So my dad's team was Millwall. So I came over here at 10, and now I've got this issue, you know, where my dad's Millwall. I'm now living in a West Ham area, so it was tricky early days, okay? But I must just tell you this, while we're talking about Millwall, I was working in up north a couple of years ago, and I left my phone at a gig, and I had to go back. So I was on a train going to Sheffield, and I happened to be on the same train as the Millwall fans who were going to play Sheffield, right? I was in amongst them.
Wow.
I had to get off the train with them. And then I got kettled, right, by the police.
No.
And I'm stuck there. And I thought, well, what am I going to do? I can't start going, no, mate. I did protest once. I went, mate, I'm not one of these. I'm not one of the football guys. Go, yeah, sure, mate. Because look at me. And then what I really wanted to say was, no, mate, I'm West Ham. Right? And I thought, no. I don't think that would be a good idea.
Don't be doing that.
All those years ago, what are your earliest memories meeting each other at Clairefontaine?
I remember him because he was the tallest one. Really, everyone was short. He was the only one
Not
who was
that tall.
No, he was tall. Wow.
She just remember my haircut. That's her.
Now you can see that Sean Paul is here.
Sean Paul. Alpha, mate, we've got to talk about the haircuts. You've got a new one every week at the moment. Are you going to stick with this one?
That's true.
Not every week. I'm growing my hair, so
yeah.
There's some steps to get there.
Vivian, can you rate some of the haircuts we've seen from Alphonse? What's your favourite one? Is this one?
No, you know what? I think this one is like good because it's changing the other one that he have, and he did it well.
Merci beaucoup.
What did you think of the slick back with the moustache?
Yeah, everything. I see the moustache. The
moustache. That was interesting.
Yeah.
I didn't know where we were going after that haircut.
You have to trust the process always.
You and Jack Collison are great mates, and you were kind of came through the academy almost at the exact same time. That must have been great to have.
Oh, it was brilliant. You know, Jack, what a guy he is, and you know, he was brilliant for the club as well. But coming in with him, it was good. And I remember Freddie Sears around that time. It was a good bunch of lads coming through. Zavon Hines came through. Junior Stanislas scored on his debut when I did. So that was nice. You know, it was a nice feel about it, and they really wanted to progress with the academy lads. So that felt good, and all the fans loved that as well. You know, they love the homegrown player.
Oh, totally. I think it's one of the reasons why you're so loved even to this day, I think.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned it there. Pards was great at that, wasn't he? I remember it was always 6 or 7 of you young lads training with us. And I think that's where you probably learn the most. You know, I know you learn in games and all that, but actually day-to-day training when you're a young lad like that, I did it similar, but obviously Cardiff lower leagues, you learn so much, don't you?
100%.
Just in training and like you said, playing proper men's football and being around the boys and seeing what it takes. It's massive. And Pards was brilliant at it.
Yeah. There was a lot of excitement around your generation of academy talent. And so much so that I don't know if you remember, you were cover stars on the programme.
Oh,
how naughty is this?
You must have seen that. I've seen it 100 times.
What a boy band, eh?
I mean, the Barnet is sensational.
I think I bought your first album.
Gives me nightmares. Look at that. There's a lot of GHD. There's straighteners on that. There's straighteners on that. That's everything I'm completely against now. I don't know why.
Do you still speak to the rest of the lads in blue, or are you falling out? I read an old interview where you talked about in your playing career, playing in a culture of blaming and fear. And that blew my mind, because when I've never played anything like the level that you two have, but when you watch those old sports documentaries in the 90s or the noughties and you see managers, and I know you played under Barry Fry briefly, like you see documentaries about him, it's a lot of having a go at people, and it's wow, what an intense environment. But I read that and I thought, I think you might be onto something. This isn't the right environment to get the best out of people. And I wondered, did you feel like that at the time when as a player? Like, did you think this kind of culture of blaming and fear is not going to get the best out of these professional athletes? And is that something you're looking to move beyond now?
That is exactly what it was. I think that's the first time I heard it, because obviously I was being 42. That's exactly what it was. Some guys playing in fear of the manager or something like that, you're going to get shouted at by the boys, and that's amazing, because that's exactly what it was.
Well, there's already enough, whatever the word is, fear. You have to admit that, because everyone wants to win. You've got supporters that are gonna, if you don't win, they're gonna be emotional, they're gonna be upset, they're gonna be angry. You don't want to face that. You fear of keeping your spot in the team. You don't want to be the guy that makes a mistake that costs the team points. So there's already lots of stuff going on. It just felt to me that why would you add to that? The coach's job, and it's a balance, because you need to hold people accountable. People need to be responsible. But I don't think that blame and fear is necessarily overly healthy. I think it should be about, okay, I'm here to help you and make sure that you're performing to the best that you can. And part of that is accountability and responsibility, but not blame and fear. There's enough of that around already. That's how I saw it.
Yeah.
But I mean, but like I said, it's not like, we can't give people candid feedback, and that, that's not good enough, and you need to do better. No, that you can still do that. But I think the blame culture, I think that's when it starts to get a little bit, everyone's protecting themselves. And if people are protecting themselves too much, and they're in survival mode too much, then they're not really being themselves. They're not bringing the full performance to the team, as I see. And I think it takes more to be able to create an environment where people are accountable. They do feel responsibility, and they do feel like, okay, because football's a game of mistakes. When people talk about we've got to stop making mistakes, I think, well, you might as well stop playing football. Because it's a 90-minute game. The score is 0-0, 1-0, 1-1. So basically all your attacks fail, mostly. So to say you'll stop making mistakes is, well, you just don't understand football.
Speaking of kids, you've got 3 yourself, and I hear that one of them is obsessed with West Ham. Is this true?
Yeah, Bernardo. Yes, Bernardo. Yes, every day I need to play PlayStation with him, and sometimes he plays West Ham against West Ham. Just to put everyone to play. Yeah, in one team he put one formation, in another team put the other players, because he likes to see he likes to see every player like, Dad, now I need to make a sub. So Kudus go out, who comes in, and why this guy playing this position? I say, oh my God, come on, Bernardo. And sometimes he say, no, I want to put Cress. I say, no, okay, put Cress. No, but in your place, I say, no problem. I say,
Dad, I'm taking you off.
I say, okay, no problem. You can put Cress, no problem. No. You need to play together, okay? I say, you put Cress number 9. I say, yeah, put Cress number 9, no problem.
I remember my son started playing when I was on it years ago, and he never used to play me because my pace was about 30 or something. So like, you go in and watch him, and there's no sign of it. Get off.
When we are in the bus, I play in the
laptop.
I play Football Manager.
Do you? No way. Who's your team? You like football, eh?
Yeah. A little bit.
You're not on the bus much anymore, though. You fly everywhere. Everywhere away games fly or
no, drive. Just the like in Newcastle.
Yeah,
the team is from Liverpool. The team is from Manchester, no. Yeah. And for the rest, we go in the bus.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So sometimes we travel like 2 hours, 2 hours and a half. Yeah, I play Football Manager.
Does anyone else play Football Manager?
Yeah, I always played. Now I am with West Ham.
Yeah.
I started in Santos, Brazil, with my team.
Yeah.
And now I moved to West Ham. I received a good offer from West Ham.
Brilliant. What year is it on the game? Are you like 3 years in the future?
Yeah. No, I'm now, and in my game, my save, I am in 2028.
2028.
Yeah, 2028.
And where
I won the Premier League with
Did you? What's that?
Of course. Good coach,
Good coach.
Yeah.
Are you, and have you put yourself on the coaching staff? Are you,
No.
You've disappeared.
No, I'm in one team in Brazil.
Who's playing for West Ham at the minute? Who have you got?
I have Kudus, Jarrod, Lucas. Yeah, these three.
Everyone else being sold.
Yeah, no. They ask, no, I want to go there. No, stay here. Yeah, everyone together. Stay.
Brilliant. Under 12s, you joined West Ham, and then so is that the first time you came to Chapel Heath? Like,
no, so I was actually training because obviously when you're younger, you train with different clubs before you sign at 9. So yeah, I've been here training when I was like 6 till about 8. Doing pre-academy, and then I chose because I was doing Chelsea, West Ham and Arsenal, got released by Chelsea, and joined. I had a 6-week trial and I think I signed within 2 weeks, so
that's crazy.
Yeah,
we don't mess about.
It's been the best thing that's ever happened to me, so I can't complain.
Crowning glory has to be the FA Youth Cup final.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean,
against who?
Arsenal at the Emirates.
Nearly guys.
What I love about that night, 34,000 fans in attendance, 7,000 of those were West Ham.
Yeah.
And did we go 1-0 down?
Yeah, early on as well. It was within 10 minutes, I think.
And won 5-1, like battered them. It weren't close.
That was always the mindset with that group. We knew when we went 1-0 down, that was never the end. We always knew we was going to come back because we had that mindset. There was no chance we were going to lose that game.
I wondered, is there like a little bit of not sadness? I mean, you're going up into the first team, but that team, obviously, you're all getting on now, like, and breaking into first teams. That's it. Was there an element of sadness at the end of that?
A little bit. I mean, I guess, I might not ever get to play with some of them again. Who knows? But, it'd be nice for a few other boys to come through and play games. Next season, who knows? Boys come back from loan, boys here at the minute. But yeah, who knows? So hopefully I'll get to play with a few of them again.
So I'm trying to figure out when you started going over Upton Park, about 1968, right? Which was a golden era.
It was, and it would have been around the World Cup. I remember going where we were wearing Stackhill shoes and flares. So that kind of budgie. Do you remember Adam Faith played the character Budgie jackets? It was that period. Mr. Byright.
Mr. Byright.
Yeah, Mr. Byright. Because Mr. Byright started just here in Angel Lane, selling Ben Sherman's to skinheads in 68, 69. And then they opened this whole load of shops. I worked for them when I first went to work. That was my Saturday job, Mr. Byright's in East Ham.
Mr. Byright, I remember buying my first Ben Sherman shirt.
Yeah.
On Hounslow High Street.
Right.
And my nan bought it for me.
Okay,
and,
there you go.
It was like a checkered one as well, a green one. That was my best shirt.
They were massive, Byright. Well, actually,
I wore it every Saturday.
Whatever happened to going out shirts?
I know. Remember Hackett? Ben Sherman, Hackett.
Used to put on a going out shirt. No one puts on
you know who
shirts.
who owned Byright? The Levy brothers. Daniel Levy, is the son of the original Mr. Byright owner, Lou Levy. Yeah. In fact, I babysat Daniel Levy.
What?
When I used to work,
Wait a minute.
When I used to work for Mr. Byright, Barry or Jeffrey, the two sons, right, used to bring their son in to play in the shop. Keep an eye on him, will you?
What?
Keep an eye on Daniel, and that ended up being Daniel Levy. Yeah, so I've babysat Daniel Levy. I forgot about that. That's a good football story.
That is a great football, and he must have learned a few things from you, eh?
Well,
you rubbed off on him.
I don't know, because they lived in Forest Gate. They lived in Seabrook Road or just behind Forest Gate then. Yeah.
Oh,
so,
amazing.
I know.
You've got a few other West Ham contacts as well. We were just talking about Alan Kirbishley.
So
what's the family connection?
Well, what it is I was mates with his late brother, Alf Kirbishley, and Alf and his wife were godparents to my child.
Wow.
So sort of connected to the Kirbishley family. Yeah, I've forgotten about all this. I should have, I didn't think about all this, but stuff comes out as you remember.
That is amazing. That is amazing.
Have you heard the story that Nobes has told about the drone?
Oh, the drone.
The drone?
Have you heard about this?
He must have heard the drone.
So Nobes used to...
Oh, yeah, I do know the story. In the garden.
Yeah,
I do know.
For listeners who don't know, Nobes used to live quite near yourself.
Yeah.
And Nobe's got a drone one day and decided to fly it in into your garden.
Yeah.
And you happened to be out there and thought you're under attack, effectively.
That was when he first just come out.
Yeah.
I don't know what it was.
So what did you
just
see?
something buzzing around. I thought it was some, I don't know, like a bee or something flying around. I just saw it was like massive. I was like,
you try and chuck
stones
at it and that,
I think I had like this, I don't know, I had like this coal stones or something on the floor, and I was just trying to like lob it. But I was so angry, mate. I was so angry. I was losing my head because I was like, "What is this?" Like someone's spying on me. Like, what's going on? And I didn't know it was him. Like, he didn't.
When did you find out it was it? Did he not?
I think it was like months after I went to the hotel and I saw Andy, and he was like, "Oh, what about the drone in your garden? How's that?" And I was like, "What are you talking about? Like the drone?" I forgot about it, and he was like, "Oh yeah, that drone was right. You was trying to launch stuff up it." That was Nobes and me in his house. We were all doing it. It was like a big bunch of lads doing it with him. I think his son's eyes, mad. And I was just so angry at it, and then I had
you
to
could
ring
lose
him
your
up.
head a little bit, couldn't you?
Yeah,
you did have that in him. Yeah, you could lose his head. Yeah, a little bit.
Something was in my vicinity, and I just wanted to get rid of it.
I mean, just in general.
I was protecting my family.
I mean, in general, you had a bit of, you could have a bit of red mist in training now and then, couldn't you?
Yeah, I felt like it could work in my favour, then it couldn't at the time. So
it's healthy for the club in general. I think when they see the two lads, getting on the pitch, playing, starting, or being on the bench, for the boys, it does under them in the 18s, thinking, hang on a minute, these two boys have had a chance, and it's sort of up their game because they can see that pathway, I suppose.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I think that our job is to interact with the academy guys regularly, daily. We're always in touch with who's doing well, how you getting on. Players come up and train, and so they get more and more used to being around. So it's not quite a rabbit in the headlights when they eventually take that step up. So it's trying to normalise it, at the same time understand how big the challenge is, but at the same time, it can happen.
Yeah,
there has to be a plan, and there has to be an environment. I think the environment's the key. Again, if you're talking about young players, if young players are coming into a blame and fear culture, it's difficult. Tough. It's difficult.
Are you the sort of manager that, say you were down on numbers, you'd go to the under 23s and grab a player for the game at the end or something, or to get involved in the training?
Yeah, and I think you've got to balance it with not disrespecting the under 23s program and the 21s program. That's where I think the daily communication helps, because then all of a sudden the coaches can see, okay, yeah, it's good for the players because you get to know them more, you get to know them as people, you get to know them as footballers better.
Yeah.
How they interact with the players, how they interact when they're training with the first team, and I think it's good for the academy as well, because like I said, they're getting exposed to a higher level of training occasionally, which is good for their development.
Yeah, definitely.